You wake up, swing your legs over the side of the bed, and there it is. That grinding, creaking sensation that forces you to pause before you stand. If you are over 50, you have likely been told it is wear and tear, that your cartilage is thinning, that this is what aging feels like and the best you can do is manage it. All of that is wrong. What you are feeling is a specific biological system inside your joints that has stopped working. Not because of age, but because it has not been activated. This system lubricates your joint surfaces, absorbs shock, and delivers nutrients to tissue that has no other way to feed itself. It is still there. It has not disappeared. It has gone dormant. This video explains exactly how that system works, why it breaks down, and the 3-minute daily routine that restores it. No supplements, no injections, nothing to buy. Picture the inside of your knee right now. 2 bones, cartilage capping each end. A sealed compartment, pressurized, filled with fluid. Most people have never been told that compartment exists. Every major joint in your body, knees, hips, shoulders, ankles, is enclosed in its own sealed capsule. A biological container wrapped around the entire joint. Lining the inside of that container is a thin layer of tissue with one job: produce fluid. That fluid is called synovial fluid. It coats every surface inside the joint, it absorbs shock, it reduces friction. Every time you move, it is there, between the surfaces, keeping them from grinding. But here's the part that changes how you think about joint pain. Cartilage has no blood supply, no vessels, no direct line to the nutrients your body produces. The only way cartilage stays alive, the only way it receives oxygen, the only way waste gets cleared out, is through that fluid. Cut the fluid off and the cartilage does not just hurt, it starves. That grinding, creaking sensation you feel every morning, that is not bone meeting bone. That is cartilage that went all night without the fluid it needs, and now it has to move anyway. It is not worn out. The fluid is just running low, and the rest of this video shows you how to bring it back. Here is what makes this worse than most people realize. The reason synovial fluid stops working has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with stillness. Synovial fluid does not move on its own. There is no pump, no automatic system keeping it distributed. The only thing that moves it is you, the joint being loaded, released, loaded again. Think of a dry sponge. It does not absorb water by sitting next to it. You press it in, release it, and the expansion draws the liquid through. Your cartilage works on that same principle. Load the joint, release it, load it again. Fluid is driven in, waste is pulled out. That is the entire maintenance cycle. Now sit completely still for 2 hours. The cycle stops. The fluid pools. It thickens, loses the slipperiness that makes it work. Do that for 8 hours overnight, every single night, and you are not just waking up stiff. You are waking up with cartilage that has been sitting in stagnant fluid since the moment you closed your eyes. The morning stiffness is not rust. It is a maintenance system that has not been switched on yet. And the instinct most people follow, rest it, protect it, avoid anything that hurts, is the instinct that makes it worse every single day. So movement is the mechanism, but not all movement helps the same way. Some kinds of movement do nothing for the fluid in your joints, and the kind that does is slower than most people expect. Running, jumping, anything high impact. The joint compresses too fast. The fluid does not have time to absorb before the next strike lands. The joint is moving, but the fluid isn't. That is the problem with high-impact movement. What actually works is slower, controlled, full range. Load the joint gradually. Hold it at the end of the range for a moment, then release slowly. That pause, that 2 seconds of sustained compression, is what drives fluid into the cartilage. The slow release is what draws it back out. 20 repetitions of that cycle does more for your cartilage than an hour of walking at pace. This is not exercise. There is no heart rate target, no calories to burn. It is maintenance. The joint needs fluid redistributed through the cartilage before it carries real load. Most people skip that step entirely. The joint protests. They conclude movement makes it worse. They stop. The fluid thickens further. People who tried walking for joint pain and felt nothing improve were usually missing this. The joint needed slow, deliberate loading first. What it got instead was 40 minutes of impact on cartilage that was still running dry. The pump only works if the fluid it is moving is the right consistency. Synovial fluid is 98% water. That is not a rough estimate. The fluid's ability to coat, cushion, and reduce friction depends entirely on staying close to that number. When hydration drops, the fluid thickens. A thicker fluid generates more friction. The joint that should glide starts to drag. After 50, this becomes a real problem for your joint fluid, and most people have no idea. The thirst signal weakens with age. The biological prompt that tells you to drink becomes quieter, which means mild dehydration becomes the default state without ever feeling like dehydration. You are not thirsty. You are simply slightly underhydrated every day, and your synovial fluid is thickening in response. The joint that feels worse after a long flight, worse on a hot afternoon, worse after a night of broken sleep. That is not coincidence. Fluid viscosity dropped. Friction increased. The sensation followed. 2 glasses of water will not fix years of inadequate hydration, but understanding the chain changes how you think about it. Water intake affects viscosity. Viscosity determines friction. Friction is what you feel as stiffness or ease. And it works the other way too. More water, less friction. Everything in this video comes down to one question. What does the minimum effective routine actually look like? Not a 45-minute mobility class. Not a physiotherapy program. 3 minutes. At the edge of your bed, before you stand. When the fluid has been sitting still the longest and the need is highest. 4 joints, 4 movements, done in order. Both feet flat on the floor. Lift both heels slowly, as high as they will go. Hold 2 seconds. Lower. Then lift both toes as high as they will go. Hold 2 seconds. Lower. 10 repetitions of each. Slow enough that you feel the compression at the top of each movement. Not a rhythm. A deliberate press and release. Still seated. Extend one leg until fully straight. Hold 2 seconds. Lower. Alternate sides. 10 repetitions each. The 2-second hold at full extension is the compression phase. That is the moment the fluid exchange happens. Do not rush through it. Feet flat. Slowly rotate both knees outward as far as they will comfortably go. Hold 2 seconds. Return. 8 repetitions. The hip is the largest synovial joint in the body. It is also the one most compressed by hours of sitting. This movement is its morning reset. Stand up. Arms relaxed at your sides. Slowly roll both shoulders backward in full circles, as large as the joint allows. 8 rotations backward, 8 forward. Not a shrug. A full rotation, slow enough that you feel the joint moving through its entire range. 3 minutes. Before the coffee, before the stairs, before the joint carries any load for the day. One final note on pace. If you do this for a week and feel nothing, you are moving too fast. The compression-release cycle needs time to work. Slow every movement down by half. The difference becomes noticeable within days. You now have the mechanism. The rest is just consistency. Start your 3 minutes tomorrow morning. Before the coffee, before the stairs. Here is the question. What is one thing your body does that confuses you? Put it in the comments. I check every comment and your questions become the next videos on this channel. Subscribe. That is how you will see it first. Thank you.